What's up, everybody? My name's Big Cam and welcome back to another Hot Toys figure unboxing. And today we have another Marvel 1/6 scale figure. And if you saw earlier this week, the final of the Avengers Doomsday trailers dropped, and it showed a little bit of the Black Panther and the Wakandans and a little bit of the Talo, maybe a little bit of the Fantastic Four. So I wanted to do a unboxing this week that kind of related to that. So, if you saw the title and thumbnail, we have the Black Panther from Wakanda Forever, and this is Shuri's Black Panther, with the black and gold, kinda almost Killmonger-esque with some of the gold detailing, but definitely a newer suit, definitely a lighter figure, smaller figure. You know, I don't have many female characters on my shelves now, so this week we're going to try and add 2 female characters. So Shuri's going to be one of them, and stay tuned for tomorrow where we're going to be doing the Mighty Thor, friggin' Jane Foster from Thor Love and Thunder, so stay tuned for that figure unboxing. But this figure is MMS 675, 1/6 scale collectible figure, Shuri Black Panther. Says the same thing on the side, Shuri, the little Black Panther logo, legal information around the back, Wakanda Forever down bottom, a Disney sticker, a little Wakandan spears and like little logo up top there. That's interesting. Have they made, comment below, any Hot Toys fans out there, have they made an M'Baku? You know what I mean, like the gorilla, Bafa, hoo ha, Bafa, hoo ha, you bald-headed demon. You know, like, have they made M'Baku, and have they made like an Okoye, like the Dora Milaje? Have they made Hot Toys figures of those characters, or maybe third-party companies? Comment below. I haven't seen those, but if those are out there, those 2 characters might be somebody I want to get. Maybe even together. Imagine doing an M'Baku unboxing and an Okoye unboxing, and just having them posed up with a carrot pointing at her, going, "You bald-headed demon." Oh, what a great line. Winston C. Duke freaking tweeted at me one time. Fucking love him. For little things like that. But this is a movie masterpiece series, Wakanda Forever. Not too much going on here, so let's pop off the top of this box. Alright, pop the top off there. We got a Wakandan kind of geometric Black Panther logo there. That looks cool as hell, with blues and pinks and purples. It says Wakanda Forever. Little claw marks down the middle. Pop that off. My little first in-person look here. What do we got? What do we got? Looks like we got some claw hands. We got a Shuri head sculpt and then a masked head sculpt. We got maybe a spear. Big old spear there, a couple of hands, nothing too much. So yeah, let's pop this figure out of the box and see what that figure is looking like and take a first in-person glance at her. Instructions down below, make sure you read that so you know what you're doing. You don't want to mess up your figures. But just popping her out of the box for the first time and taking a close in-person look at her, she is petite. Compared to so many of the other figures I have, they're like, you know, they're sizable, beefy dudes. This is a petite, small lady. She is so tiny. She's got tiny little hands, tiny arms. Literally like in my hand. Doesn't she look small? But just look at the mask. Yeah. I mean, she looks really good in the suit. The suit looks good. I mean, yeah, I guess it's just going to have to come down to the accessories and the posability for her. But let me pull out all of the accessories out of this box, lay them out on the desk here in front of me, and we'll take a closer look at everything that Shuri Black Panther has to offer. All right, everybody, we have Shuri the Black Panther from Black Panther Wakanda Forever laid out in front of us here with all of her accessories, and just starting out with those. It does come with 2 gauntlet cannons, right and left, and then it has 2 little gauntlets that can, like, you know, obviously this is what it expands into in the movie, but maybe this is like the collapsed down version, and it looks like she can wear those around her wrists or forearms, as well as she can just have them around her fists, and there's like fist hands that look like actual, like the gauntlet is over the fist. Same thing for the left side in the right side. And then you have, of course, 2 claw hands and then 1 grabbing hand for this spear. And this spear is pointed like a sword on one side and then pointed like, you know, just a spear on the other side. So a sword, spear tip, and then, you know, the golden nails, of course, golden little accents. I love the detail, like this like meshy detail on the figure herself. And apparently she has like the purple UV light that kind of is in the movies, like the kinetic energy of the suits. But she has like this UV black light, you know, and it triggers it. And I don't know how well it comes up, but maybe it makes it like kind of glow in the dark type of thing. I don't have a UV torch to be able to do that, but anybody out there that does, this suit has that option, which is kind of cool. But just going to the claw hands, I love the way the claw hands look. I always have. And the Black Panther claws look great for T'Challa, Black Panther, but the golden claws, I mean, she kind of has like the Killmonger-esque suit mixed in with a little bit of her brother, with like the collar around her neck, you know, and just little bits of silver. And if you guys saw the Avengers Doomsday trailer from this week, Shuri will return and be the Black Panther yet again, but now she has a little bit of teal in her armor, pretty much the same armor, but now slightly more gold and more teal. So the vibranium from the Talokan, you know, Namor's people, is going to be incorporating into the Avengers Doomsday Shuri Black Panther suit. So that's exciting. So maybe we'll be getting a 2.0 Shuri in the future. But going down to the actual figure herself in that head sculpt, I think the Shuri head sculpt is pretty spot on. I can't wait to try that out on the figure and see how the rolling eyes look. And then just the base is like a normal hexagon base with the Black Panther logo and Wakanda Forever on it. No nameplate on the front. I don't know if that's just a mistake or if it's supposed to say Shuri on the front, or if they just said, ah, screw it, no nameplate. You know who it is. It's Black Panther or it's Shuri, you know, depending on which head sculpt is in there. I think I'm going to rep the Shuri head sculpt, though, just because why not? You know, I have a Black Panther figure that's T'Challa, but it didn't come with a head sculpt. So for me, I think just because it comes with it, I have to use it. You know, as much as I like how the little ears look on the Black Panther figure herself, and it also has like articulating toes, and yeah, not a bad looking figure herself. But why don't we take a more up close and personal look at this figure? Oh, right, y'all. So I was just taking a look at this Shuri head sculpt and playing around with some of those eye positions, and this absolutely looks tremendous. You know, the lineup up front, the shaved side of the head, the eye position. I mean, I don't see anybody besides Shuri. You know what I mean? Like, that is Shuri 100%. And then as you spin around in the back, she's got great braids. Like, it looks awesome, tied up in the back. Behind the ear, she has like a tattoo that I can't make out on that side, and then this is like a more of a geometric tattoo on the right side. I was like, damn, I didn't even know Shuri had tattoos behind her ears, but apparently she does. And you know, some of you might, that little lip from the head sculpt might bother you, but from most angles you can't see it. And yeah, it makes sense. You know, some people are like, where's the skin tone neck for Shuri? Where this is kind of how she looks when she's unmasked in the movies, you know, like, because it's just nanotech that just reveals her face and then leaves the suit around the neck. But I do like that this head sculpt has, you know, a moving neck as well. It's not just the head that moves. It's like the head and the neck can go forward, back, you know, and it changes the chest and in the way that the neck spreads. You know, you can see the crease up there versus spread back. But yeah, not a bad looking figure. I'm curious now to see what kind of articulation she's got. So let's put Shuri here in some poses and see what this bad girl is capable of. All right, everybody, we have Shuri spinning around on the turntable for us here with the Black Panther mask on, just standing straight up and down, just as she comes fresh out of the box. And then I have Shuri's head sculpt on the figure, and they're doing the Wakanda Forever pose, and the other Black Panther I have in my collection was not even remotely close to being able to pull off this pose, which feels like one of the only poses that these figures should be able to do is the main pose from the movie, no? But she is able to do the Wakanda Forever. And then I have Shuri holding the spear in one hand, and the other hand is up in the air with the gauntlet around her wrist, just showing off the different gauntlets and how they look around her wrist. just as a fist gauntlet or the full gauntlets that go around each forearm. And she's got her fist up in the air like she's rallying the troops, and her and Namor are going to be no longer fighting and working together. But speaking of the forearm gauntlets, I have her in a battle-ready stance with the gauntlets around both forearms, and the mask is back on. And then I have her with the fist hand gauntlets attached, and she's like running as if she's chasing Namor down, about to beat him up with said gauntlets, and also just showing off a little bit of that toe articulation that's possible. And then in the final pose, I have her in here kind of doing the box pose, but with the Shuri head sculpt, with the claws out and the gauntlets attachments around either forearm, just to kind of spruce up the figure a bit and give it just a little extra accessory. But I really do like the way that the Shuri head sculpt looks. So worst case scenario, the Black Panther head sculpt ends up on the base, which is all right by me. And, you know, maybe it will end up like in her hand or something, like she just took off her mask, even though her suit is like entirely vibranium and it can't just take off his mask the same way like T'Challa could from Civil War, which is still my favorite Black Panther suit, is the original OG Black Panther suit we see in Captain America Civil War. And the design basically stayed the same, but switched up a little bit of details going into the Black Panther, you know, solo movie, and then in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Obviously, T'Challa is not still around, but, you know, his suit in Infinity War and Endgame type of thing was still the same from, like, Black Panther 1. But now after unboxing Shuri, it's making me want to go and find maybe another T'Challa figure. Maybe from the little ceremony battle that he has against M'Baku with like the shield and like the Panther wooden, more tribal mask instead of like the traditional Black Panther suit. Or maybe I go and get one of the Infinity War suits, if, you know, or any of the other Black Panther figures that are out there. But currently, I only have one other Black Panther figure, and that is the Black Panther from Civil War. So why don't we toss Shuri on the shelf where she's going to end up, right next to that Black Panther suit, and see how those two look next to each other in a bit of a side-by-side comparison. Yesterday's figure unboxing was for the mighty Thor, aka Jane Foster from Thor Love and Thunder. If you guys missed that figure unboxing, go check that out. And of course, if you missed any of these wonderful figures from Deadpool and Wolverine, go check those out as well. But today we talked about Shuri, and this is her new home that she's got next to Civil War Iron Man and Civil War Black Panther. But just having the Black Panthers stacked up on top of each other feels real good. Even like shots like that, you know, or something, you know, maybe even that. But yeah, love that suit from T'Challa's Black Panther. You know, that's probably my favorite movie suit to date, is the Civil War Black Panther. But the actual figure itself is an older figure, not that great, you know, so maybe that deserves the 2.0 treatment from Hot Toys, and maybe they should throw in a Chadwick head sculpt when they do. But this figure is pretty damn awesome, and now it's making me really want to go get a Killmonger somewhere because of that black and gold and how good that looks. And maybe I'll have to get, you know, Black Panther from the Solo film, as well as Killmonger. And I don't know, who else did they make? Did they ever make an M'Baku, or like an Okoye, or Nakia, or Ulysses Claw? You know, did any of those people from Black Panther ever get made? Because those would probably be some figures I'd want in the collection as well. But that Shuri head sculpt looks really good. Even the Black Panther mask looked really good. But I'm glad that that can be down on the base and not just back in the box. And yeah, this has been another Hot Toys figure unboxing. And if you guys missed a couple weeks ago, we did the patch from So Toys and the Hot Toys Wolverine from 1973 in X-Men Days of Future Past. But I'd love to know your thoughts on Shuri and who should be unboxed next. If you guys have missed figures on the channel, just a brief little collection tour shot of things that have been in this room and what they're looking like at the current moment, because some of these shelves are jam-packed, like this DC one here. Some of them are pretty scarce, like the bottom shelf Iron Man down there, which feels so disrespectful to have him on the bottom shelf. But, you know, some more
Peacemaker down the bottom shelf shouldn't be there either. Some of these bad boys, you know, this shelf I'm not completely happy with because it's pretty random, the amount of people that are thrown over here. So I just did a collection tour recently, but I think I need to mix up the shelves again. And if I do, I probably will do another collection tour. So stay tuned for that, y'all. Some more Star Wars figures will be coming out in the future as well during the month of May for, you know, Star Wars and the Mandalorian and Grogu film coming out. Some more Caps in the future, more Spider-Man for sure. I'm sure there will be more Joker and Batman, Doctor Strange's, Iron Man. Yeah, there'll be more to come in the future. So stay tuned, y'all. And thank you guys so much for sticking around this far into the video. I highly appreciate it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Shuri down in the comment section below, or if you want to send them to me on my other social medias, links for those down in the description below. Big Cam, 2G's in the Big, pretty much anywhere, and you can find me. Once again, my name's Big Cam. Thank you guys so much for sticking around this far into the video. If you would like to support the channel further, the best way to do that is dropping a like on this video, subscribing if you haven't already, commenting down below, and hitting that bell so you don't miss next week's figure unboxing. Who would you guys like to see me unbox next? Drop those down in the comment section below, and I'll see if I can make it happen for y'all. And thank you so much for sticking around this far. It's really the best way to support the channel is watching the videos from beginning to end, you know, hitting share, sending it to a friend. And make sure you guys hit that bell so you don't miss future Hot Toys figure unboxings every weekend all through 2026. So stay tuned, y'all. More figures to be unboxed in the future. Wakanda forever. Shuri, love her. So we'll see her more again in Avengers Doomsday. There was a trailer reaction that starred her earlier this week, so go check that out if you haven't. And thank you guys so much for supporting the channel and the campaign. And we're going to keep carrying on, and road to 1,000 subscribers is almost there, and we're going to be monetized very soon. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you beautiful people in the next video. Peace.